You got this in December?
I have. It took up until April for me to get the title for it.
Wow. I feel like it was more recent that you got this.
Nope. You just don't care enough to remember.
Yeah, no, I really... No, yeah. I mean, after riding in this thing, and it's insane. So talk about if you want to, talk about the mileage a little bit.
Yeah, so let's talk about the asterisk, I guess, as well.
Asterisk.
So I've done a lot of research on this car.
Right.
If you type in the VIN, it's going to pull up an Rx7 thread. And so what happened is that this car was in a front-end collision. Actually, let's go back even further. Before that, if you look, a lot of the odometers on the FD die.
Yeah.
For no reason. They just shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Bleep that out, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you bleep that stuff out, but
it's
what happened was
it's fine.
It died. The guy took it to the dealership, and they couldn't read the mileage, so they logged 50,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
The car had 4,000 miles.
Yeah.
So imagine the disappointment of that guy that his
babied it, garage kept it.
Vehicle history is now ruined.
Right.
So anyway, he put a new odometer in it, and that's why it says 4,000. So
right.
I add the two together, based on what the previous one said. I actually have the previous one up in my office.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't sent it out to fix it yet because it's like $300 to fix it, so I don't want to do it.
Where do you even send that to? Mazda?
There's a place in Florida that does it. It's really just replacing a capacitor and resoldering a couple of things, which I could do theoretically, but...
Do they just do FD cluster, or do you just send...
It's a lot of different clusters
okay.
they do.
Interesting.
But yeah, the guy took it there. They plugged in 50,000 as a part of their, checking it in thing, and that's what shows up, on the VIN search when you pull it up. So that's why there is a discrepancy. That's why, on the if you do a Carfax, it shows. It's actually hilarious. It says 3,000 miles, and then literally like a year later, it jumps to 50,000 miles.
There's no way that someone, unless you dailied it, road trip.
Drive,
I do about like 40,000 miles, and I drive a lot.
I drove 8,000 miles, and my truck is a daily, so that's a decent indication. But yeah, so that's the discrepancy. And then, so it went from that guy to someone else who, a body shop guy, actually, it was a body shop guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was driving it one day, and, it was hit. It was in a front-end collision. And the body shop guy, was like, okay, I'll just fix it myself. Didn't record it or anything. Probably his fault, to be honest. And you can tell if you look at a few of the fitments, like especially on this fender, you can see up there that it's a little bit off compared to the other one. So I can tell it's in a front-end collision.
Okay.
And I can also tell it's been resprayed. But he fixed it.
Is the whole car resprayed?
The whole car has been resprayed.
Okay.
Which is why I was like, I can't tell if this is real CYM or not. Pretty sure it is, but it might not be. So yeah, he fixed it. Eventually it went to a guy in Alabama who had it for a bit and then sold it. And it's been through a couple different people. Eventually, this guy in Massachusetts bought it. He's a car collector. He keeps cars. He has like 15 Supras.
Yeah, which is...
Mark 4s, right? Yeah,
yeah.
So the expensive ones. All twin turbo, so all the super nice ones.
Yeah.
And he bought this car as something to sit on, something to, appreciate value and sell later. However, when he got it, he, VIN searched it and saw all this information and was like,
wonky.
This isn't a collector's car.
Yeah.
Sad for him, bad for him, perfect for me, because I'm not keeping this to collect it. I'm keeping it because I love rotaries and this is my favorite color and this is the car I wanted. So he listed it on Facebook in that group. Mm-hmm. And, within the first 5 minutes, I saw it, because I had been searching, for a year. I just keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
And I missed a couple. I missed a one-owner R1 in red.
Okay.
I was going to repaint it because red's not my color. But 80,000 miles, and I missed it for 17,000. Really good price, really.
Yeah. For FDs now, that's under 20 is,
So when this one came up at 25, I was like, okay, I'll pay it if I have to. Right. And Cheyenne was asleep in the bedroom, and I just left her. I went to my office to talk to this guy, and I'm like, well, he's like, I'm at 25. Here's what's up with it. Here's all the information I have, because he did his research too. Mm-hmm. I actually have a book of the research this guy did on it in my office, and I was like, well, I'm at 21 because I'm poor. and he's like, how about we kind of meet in the middle or something? We do 22.5, and I'm like, done. Sent him the deposit for 500. I then went to Lightstream and got a loan. Really weird. They didn't require me to put them on the title. So I got a loan for the car, but I fully own it, which is weird. I still pay them, obviously, because I feel like that's the right thing to do. Like, I can probably get in a lot of financial trouble if I don't. But
yeah, no, definitely.
But no, they're not on the title at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a very interesting scenario because my friend who bought another car that took out much less than me had to put them on the title. I'm not going to complain, but kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what happened was I had a guy go pick up the car, or company, I scheduled them to pick up the car. And the day of, he's like, I can't find the title. And at the same time, my check, or my wire deposit hadn't cleared either. But, we kind of both had faith in one another that we would resolve this. And he sent the car, with my money not having cleared. And I received the car without having a title.
Interesting. Okay.
So, but what stemmed from that was he still couldn't find the title for like the next 3 months. So eventually he's like, hey, I got this plan. I'm like, well, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we can use the Vermont method. And I had already looked into it because I was researching to do it myself, like, I'm not going to send this back. Because at a time he was like, well, I don't know what to do. Just, send it back and refund you. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'll turn this into a track car before I get rid of this.
Yeah.
And so he went through Vermont, and you can register any car in Vermont, regardless of title, because Vermont cars over 15 years of age don't require a title. You just register it.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know
that. So this is kind of a loophole to get your car registered if you don't have a title if it's over 15 years. So you don't even have to live in Vermont. You can just send it in and get your car registered in Vermont. So that's what he did. He then sent it to me, and I took it to the DMV and got a title because Vermont is not a title state. However, Missouri is. So you go to the DMV and you're like, hey, I bought this car. They don't require a title. Here's the registration. And they're like, okay, we'll apply for a title.
Then they give you a title.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is how I finally got a title for this car. It is in my name. It is Missouri. It is clean. We're good.
That's such a pain.
But yeah, it took an extremely long time, and I was frustrated. I'm like, do I take this guy to court? I'm like, what do I do? And eventually he finally came through. And
he seems like a pretty stand-up guy through the whole thing.
I tell you what, it restored my faith in humanity for sure. Like, it definitely made me rethink and.
I mean, he did put the car on a trailer without even getting paid yet.
He did.
Which is kind of insane.
But after so long, you begin to think like, well, is this guy like fooling me around? So I actually started the process to do it myself, and around the time the day after I sent it, he's like, I got the registration in, so I quickly had to cancel my check.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it was bad, but yeah, we're good to go. Second mistake though, I applied for a non-historic plate.
Oh yeah.
And so now I'm getting my actual customized plate in August.
Which is?
CYM.
That's so sick. That's so cool. It just CYM. Because the reason I keep saying that is in Illinois, 3 letters, that's I don't think I've ever seen just 3 letters.
I was actually pretty salty because I wanted to get FC3S for the white Rx7.
Yeah.
And then FD3S for this one. And I know both people that have those.
Really?
Yeah. A guy named Ken, he has a really nice T2. He owns FC3S, and then actually a local friend of mine owns FD3S. But before that, I have Ryosuke on this one.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get Kesuke on this one. And probably some 97 Corollas rolling around with Kesuke. I don't know. It was already taken. I was pretty upset.
Yeah. But CYM, that's killer.
I am happy. Yeah, I'm really happy I got that one. I do know someone else that has it, but he's quite a states away, so I'm not too upset about it.
You should have it by Mazda Midwest.
Yeah, I plan on.
Okay, because that'll be cool to have at the show.
I think so.
Honestly, I think that would tie everything together. But what wheels are these?
So these are BBS RGRs.
Okay.
And they're kind of my dream wheel for this. Ryan Berg.
Yes.
So he has
been on the podcast before. Self-plug.
Nice plug. Make sure you control F that later.
Wow.
IT bro. So in Japan for the 96 RZs, or 96 and up RZs, they collaborated with BBS to release these same wheels.
Right.
Only they're in, I think 17 by 7.5 or 17 by 8.5, one of the two. And they have Mazda caps, and they look really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, though, I didn't really want to take the time to find those. Like, I know finding a set like because Ryan has those on his Cosmo.
Right.
Finding a set like those are expensive and hard to find, and I have to wait a super long time. And at this time, I had already bought coilovers and everything to like finish what I wanted to. So I was like, well, I'll just find, some BBS RGRs because they're the same thing. They don't make them anymore, so you're kind of stuck with what you get. Yeah. So I found these, and they're 18 by 8.5 in the front and 18 by 9.5 in the rear.
That's pretty decent size.
Like an offset of 22, so it's okay. I'm running 235s in the front, 235/40, and 265/35 in the rear.
Not bad.
But I'm rubbing slightly on the front, so I'd like to fix that. But I think the only way to fix that is go with a slimmer tire, like maybe a 225, or fab the fender liners a bit. I don't know. There goes a sight from my soul.